Well, I'm at home in my shop. Kind of cool in here, but it should warm up a little bit. That doesn't really make it hot in here or anything, but it'll break the chill. Well, since we're quarantining here, I thought I'd do some stuff out here in the garage. And so I bought this knife a while back. It's a Ontario Wrap 2 folder. And I've done a whole bunch of these knives. And I used to modify them and sell them on eBay. And so this is called a scale. It's these black parts that are on here, and this is just a plastic piece that came from the factory. And what I do is I take this micarta, and this is camo. I don't know if you can see it right here. Let's see. Where did I go? Right there where I kind of ground the edge off. You can see it's like two-toned. There's black and then a kind of a brown layers. And so what I will do is cut it out in the shape of that, and then sculpt the outside of this so that you'll be able to see those layers. And then see what this side I did, and I did this side too, but see how light that is. Well, when you get done making these, you take any kind of oil and rub it onto there, and it's going to really make the colors separate. So fun little project. All I have to do is cut it out the shape, and then put these holes in there, and then I'll take this one apart, and then do the fine tuning, the perfect shaping. Once I put it on, I'll have those to guide me, and then we'll see how it turns out. So there's what it looks like all disassembled. I have all the screws and little bits inside, besides these standoffs. They'll come off too. But so there's all my pieces. Time to start making. So here's the first thing you do is clamp your factory scales down and take a scribe and go all the way around so that when you take them off, you'll know where it is. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a drill that's the same size as these holes and drill all the holes. All right, got all the holes drilled, got it scribed around here. Now what I need to do is, you can see on these, their holes are counterbored. So what that means is that about halfway down the hole is bigger, so that on the smaller part the head of the screw can grip, and all of these little ones that hold the scale on, it's the same thing. So what I need to do is very carefully take this drill and do all of those, and then I have this counterbore with a pilot that I made to fit right in these holes, and that would give me this big one. So onto that, and we're up to a blazing 55 degrees in here. All right, well, I got that job done. See there? Okay, now this, if you're going to make one of these, this is probably the most delicate part to do, because you need to go part way through. If you go all the way through, you're screwed, because then the screw has nothing to grip onto. So if any part you're going to spend your time and attention on, it will be when you counterbore these holes. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take just any size drill, and I'm going to drill holes all the way around this line wherever I can here. And what that'll do is just remove material so that it'll be easier to cut around it, because I'll be using a little coping saw like that to cut around it. And if you take a drill and drill the holes kind of close together, then there's just not that much to cut. You'll see. All right, so this is what it looks like with all the holes drilled. So you can see where it would be much easier to cut. You know, you just got to cut this one little section between the holes. All right, so I got them all roughed out. Now all I have to do is clean it up on a sander down to that line or close to that line. The final finishing will be after I put them back on here, and then I can just barely touch up against this liner and get them to the perfect size. Okay, so I got it real close to the edge. This area right here where it's kind of tight, I can't get with my belt sander, so I'll be getting that with the Dremel, but we're well on the way. All right, so I assembled it, well, partially assembled it. The blade's not in there, but you can see where there's a difference between the micarta and the liner in there all the way around. And now I'm gonna start whittling it down until this micarta here matches that profile. All right, so I've got it all down to where it's all pretty much the right shape all the way around. Okay, so I'm about to attempt to put the pattern on here, and I'm going to use this going kind of like that on a drill press. You know, this will be mounted in a drill press, and then this will be held by hand. Okay, so this is the idea of how to do it. Okay, this is far from done, but this is one side now. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side coming up here. It's going to make a interesting pattern. This is this style of pattern for a knife handle is called an Anzo pattern, after the knife maker that came up with this style. So anyway, I got two sides done. I like to try to make it so that these match from, you know, looking at it this way. So the best way that I found how to do that is this is both sides, and they're held together with some double-sided Scotch tape. And then when you're doing it, you can kind of blend them as good as possible. Don't worry about any little imperfections, because you can fix all that stuff towards the end. Okay, so I got both sides done. Doesn't look like much right now, but once I put oil on it, it'll really pop. Okay, I decided to make a liner, which is going to go in between the scale and that. And what I'm going to use is this called G10. It's a fiberglass based material, so you definitely want to use a respirator with this stuff. So I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. Just put this on here, trace it out, drill the holes. And okay, so I got all the holes drilled, and I got the lines scribed now to cut it out roughly. And then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so this is how I do it. I just put everything kind of together, and now I'm going to just follow around there with my Dremel sanding disc. Alright, so I got that done, more or less. A little hand sanding. Knife's not. Now what I need to do now, I need to take it apart, and right here, that little piece right there, that's called a liner lock. And what it does is it locks the blade in the open position. And so I need to remove a little material off this orange right there so that this will have enough room to move out of the way. Okay, so pretty much done. I just have to put some oil on it and you'll see a big difference. It will really look nice.